Okay, are you guys ready for the experience?
Yes.
Okay. So get comfy in your seats. Allow your eyes to close. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling it out. Another nice, slow, deep breath in, pulling it up through the tips of your toes, up your whole body, all the way up to your crown. And then exhale it all out, all the way down your body like a waterfall. One more time. Pulling the energy with your breath from the bottoms, the soles of your feet, all the way up to your crown. And then, like a waterfall, just letting it all wash away. Now, just taking a moment to congratulate yourself. You made it. It's December 31st, 2024. You did it. It's the last day of 2024. Might only seem like yesterday when this year was just beginning. Take a moment to recall where you were exactly a year ago, where you were at the turn of the year last year, who you were, because you were a different person then. Now take a moment to see all that you accomplished, all your wins. And just allow these wins, all of your biggest wins, all of the smaller wins, all of the medium wins, all of the wins, just flash across your field of vision, almost like a montage. All the things you achieved, all the little victories and triumphs. And also see how some of those things didn't come easy. It required you to overcome something. They came with some difficulty, discomfort, and challenge. But because you chose to face the difficulty, discomfort, and challenge, you were able to create something meaningful. Many things, actually. So now just allow your brain to create a montage of all the challenges you overcame. Really congratulating yourself, really feeling proud of yourself, really celebrating yourself. Now ask your brain to create a montage of all the ways you operated in alignment with your ideal self, all the ways you showed up in alignment with your highest potential, all the choices you made that may not have been easy, but they were totally congruent with the kind of person, the kind of entrepreneur, the kind of partner, friend, parent, son, daughter you've always wanted to be. And now, without any judgment, any shame, any guilt, also ask your brain to show you all the ways in which you operated out of alignment with your ideal self, just so you see all of yourself in truth. There are any gaps in how you showed up, any ways that you fell short of your standards, knowing that it's totally okay, it's part of the game. We don't want to use that to guilt, punish, or shame. We just want to see ourselves in truth because that's how we learn. And then ask yourself, what were the people, decisions, strategies, choices that led to the biggest gain of energy for you this past year? What gave you energy the most? Could even be products, marketing channels, team members, clients, friends. What gave you the most energy in these past 12 months? Really taking note of that. And just letting these answers come to you without any effort because they're already primed in your subconscious. And now looking at the flip side, what was the biggest drain of energy? What were the things that drained your energy the most? These could even be patterns. This could be people, commitments, things you said yes to, things you couldn't say no to. And then lastly, bring to mind your biggest lessons learned from the past 12 months. What wisdom did you acquire? What insights, breakthroughs, lessons? What did you learn? And as we wrap this segment of the activity, notice who you've become in the past 12 months. Notice the gap between the person who started the year and the person who's finishing the year. Notice how much you've grown. And just whisper to yourself, I'm really proud of you. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming back to the room and opening your eyes whenever you're ready. Okay, now we're going to look ahead. So
Mhm.
now we're going to look ahead to 2025, the next 12 months. So again, find a nice, comfy spot where you're sitting. Allow your eyes to close. Take a deep, clearing breath. You're just washing away everything now, wiping the slate completely clean. We're just going to unhook from all memory, all sense of self, all history, the past, just wiping everything completely clean. Nothing that's ever happened before has to define your present or your future. Nothing that ever happened to you ever in your life has to determine any aspect of your life going forward. You have the infinite creative potential of the entire fucking universe moving through you, and you get to create whatever you want. So imagine it's December 31st, 2025, 12 months from now, and you've just had your best year yet in business, not just in terms of money, but pretty much in every way that feels meaningful for you. And you're reflecting on your year. You're telling all of us what you accomplished and what your business looks like now. Allow this reality to form and see yourself sharing, telling people about this most epic business that you built. What does it look like? What did you achieve in the past 12 months? What did you create? And how did you feel that whole time as you were creating all those things? How did it feel every step of the way, not just at the victory at the end? What did you make possible that felt improbable? How is this business different from how it was 12 months ago? How has it changed your life? How has your life gotten better? What adventures and fun has it enabled? How has it given you permission to do all those things that you've always wanted to do? How has it allowed you to have more fun in life and business than you ever thought possible? How has it allowed you to operate in a level of ease that felt absolutely impossible at one point of time? But now it's your normal. How safe do you feel in your body, in this world, and in your life? Now notice that your business is actually an entity. It's an independent geometry that has its own consciousness. It has its own fate and destiny. It has its own path. Connect to this and ask this entity what steps you should take, what choices you should make, what's the path to get there. What does it want to create through you? In what way does it want to impact the world through you? Imagine that you're dancing with this entity. Feel its wisdom, feel its guidance pouring into your body, energizing you. Feel this reality as if it's more real than anything else you've ever experienced. Notice how amazing it feels when you see what you've created at the end of 2025, what you've accomplished. Now ask that part of you that's all knowing, what did you let go of to make this reality possible? What did you have to stop doing or say no to? And what did you commit to that made this possible? What values, principles, decisions, strategies, ways of being? Now, who did you have to become to reach this next level of your business? See this version of you in front of you. How is this version of you different from who you are at the beginning of the year? What's different about what this version of you believes about themselves? How they show up, how they respond or react to situations, how they make decisions, how much they trust. Notice all the ways that you've grown to step into this version. Now imagine that version of you merging with your current self. And you instantaneously step into this next level version of yourself, who's the only one who can build the next level of your business. And watch yourself showing up as this version of you, starting now, January 2025, February 2025, and so on throughout the year. We don't work towards our vision, we work from our vision. See it, feel it, become it. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and come back to the space. It's like you do, if you just do one thing, right? If you just do that thing, if that's the only thing you do this year, it's going to completely change your life. You don't have to get all the thousand things perfect to get
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
You can fuck up in 1,000 ways with 10,000 things, but if you just love on yourself relentlessly,
Mm.
you will make more money and you will be more visible and famous and make more impact than you can even imagine right now. And that's why, the best organizing principle for a business is love, because love is the only zero entropy state. And when you have the right intention, the strategy doesn't matter. Business is basically an excuse for me to feel love as often as possible. Because I genuinely love each and every one of you. Like every email is a love letter, right? When we engineer business in this way, then every aspect of it just feels so good. We don't need to think about, 100 different things. And that's the difference between the mechanical grind of building a business and scaling a business and the energetic juice, almost like biting into the most succulent, ripe tropical mango. Money by itself is never gonna, you know, offer a rich emotional experience. It's the way we make money. It's the richness and juiciness of that emotional experience every step of the way. And when we engineer the game in that way, we operate in God mode. And God mode is not about being all powerful. God mode is operating in a state of love as continuously and as much as possible. Because another way we can think of God is it's the thing that holds everything. That means it's unconditional, it's indiscriminate in how much it can accept even the most imperfect and flawed. Right? God is not a perfectionist. God doesn't judge. God just holds it all. And that's what love is. When we can love every aspect of us, even this, quote unquote, ways we fall short, and then by extension, everything, everyone who touches our business, then it just becomes one beautiful experience. And that's the frequency from which we create miracles, right? That's the miracle frequency. That's where space-time completely bends because it's so not about effort. We operate in a quantum dimension, not the linear or even exponential dimension. That magic is something we're all innately capable of. So if when that little girl plays, for her to let's say play house, she needs some structure, right? Because without that structure, she can't play house because there's no container, there's no guidelines, there's no parameters. So when we think about a child playing, every game requires some level of structure for there to be play. So structure precedes play. Without structure, there is no play. And so what we're doing differently here is that we're constructing our business and our life as a game. We're constructing it as a game that allows us to feel the way we want to feel as much of the time possible, which is feel turned on, excited, in a state of love, right? Creative, joyful, and in a state of flow, at ease. So we're engineering a game that optimizes for that experience as we play the game. We're constructing this game so that our inner children can play their heart out for as long as they want, as they all needed and wanted when we were young. So we have to construct the game and give them the conditions that they need. So the structure, the parenting our inner child, the way we construct the game, and then us actually being able to tolerate goodness. Once all those things are in place, then it's just pure magic. And the way we address that is by creating choice. Because when we were young, we had no choice. That's why those things got enmeshed. And that's why instinctively we push away from something like that because it was imposed on us. So a big piece of this is each of you, that's why I keep saying, right? You get to choose, you get to choose, you get to choose, you get to choose. You have to choose the structure so you can feel the choice in your ability to choose the structure. And if you're fully consciously choosing the structure, you won't rebel against it. But if there is lack of presence and lack of consciousness, and you're doing it because some influencer on YouTube said that you should, you know, start every morning with 50 burpees and what, cold plunge and this and that, or you have to send 50 emails, whatever the thing is, when there's a lack of choice, you will automatically create internal rebellion. And that's going to sabotage your ability to have the structure, which is going to never let you get to the stage of just playing.
It's so crazy to think about, like when I signed up for the accelerator, that I like hated my business. And the reason that I hated it, that you taught me, was this like situation I had gotten myself into where I had made a lot of choices that I didn't actually, that weren't really the one that I wanted, but that I thought I needed to do. Now it's so different.
Huge insight.
Huge. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Oh, so good.
This is why I say, like, there's people out there making millions of dollars, but they hate it. To me, that's failure. It's what is the point of that? And this is the fundamental miasm of scarcity, which is rooted in fear, which is like a very fundamental straitjacket that most people have around their whole system. That's what causes someone to think that I have to do that to get a client, to make money, to have, you know, my needs provided for. And doing more of that to get out of that doesn't ever work. So many people they build, multiple seven, eight, nine-figure businesses to get out of that straitjacket. But I've worked with people with like billion-dollar net worth, and they're still wearing the straitjacket, and it's even tighter.
Yeah.
The only way is to unhook from that paradigm entirely and decide that I'm not going to play the game of scarcity at any level, right? So imagine the code, is corrupted all the way through because the source of the code, the first line of code is corrupted with fear. And that happens because at the time of birth, our first experience of life is trauma. So when we're born, our first experience is separation because we're nice and cozy in our mother's wombs and we're ejected from our home. We're part of her. We are one with her. There's no sense of separation. And now we're exiled and we become this helpless, limited, separate self. And we have to figure out this whole other environment where we have to actually provide for our needs because before all our needs were perfectly provided for. So we lived in abundance. And at the time of birth, we experience fear and scarcity for the first time. And that first experience, which is not a thought, it is actually a nervous system state, becomes the first line of code that every other experience for the rest of our life is sitting on top of and corrupted by. So the real game we're playing here is not making lots of money. That's a side effect. We're reprogramming you from the source to completely unhook from the paradigm of fear and scarcity so that the basic building block of your entire consciousness is love, it's abundance, it's ease. And so every aspect of anything you create in your life, whether it's a business or babies or a marriage or your friendships, it's all colored by love because that's the only way as a human being we can experience and live in a state of harmony. Fear and scarcity is incompatible with harmony, right? That's the real game we're playing. And that requires a full update of the entire source code. So that's a little meta on like, why you guys are really here under the guise of, making more money.
I feel that. It's like such an epiphany moment. I feel like I'm trying to like rewrite. Like we've had so much stress for like years. It is shocking our system a bit to like start to relax and feel that it's okay to be like this. Like I've had a
Or just like not feel like you have to work all the time.
or you have to get clients. It's just like you
Yeah.
have to do this.
Because it's that pattern of focus. If the pattern of focus is seeing what's wrong and
Yeah.
what's missing and what's the gap, what's not enough, then if we don't find that, we're going to create it. Basic conditioning, right?
Mhm.
That's how we were taught to, yeah, to see what's wrong, to see what's missing. And it makes us really, powerful as entrepreneurs because we can like, oh, let's improve this, let's fix this, but if we don't know how to not do that, again, absence of choice, that's our default mode, it's going to eat everything up. It's going to swallow all the joy in your life, right? So actually what we're training here is the muscle of celebration and um, appreciation and acknowledgement because the more you look for that, the more you create that, the more you find that. right? The focus is what changes reality. Most people think reality changes focus. It's like if I make this much money, then I will feel this way. No, actually, if I feel this, if I look for this, then eventually reality has to catch up. When I say focus, this is actually at a nervous system level, it's a configuration, it's a geometry. And we talk about ease a lot, right? So what ease is, it's actually the pacing of your nervous system. Every person has a timing, and we can feel each other's timing, right? You meet someone, you can feel their timing. They're talking like this, and there's all these things, and they're working on this and that. Or they're, really at ease, they're really relaxed, they're not in a hurry. So everything in the universe has a clock, has a metronome, right? It has a rhythm. So our nervous systems are also calibrated to a certain pacing. And the more fine we slice time, the more the pacing slows down. And the more we can slow the pacing down, the more life we receive. When we are conditioned with fear, fear causes us to speed up the pacing. And that speeds up every system in us at a biological, emotional, psychological level. That's anxiety is basically a faster pace of cognition, right? Try to be like slow. That's why when someone's anxious, they give them box breathing to do, which slows down their breath. And if they slow down their breath, their entire body recalibrates its pacing. So it's actually, we say like pattern of focus, we say like, how we feel, but it's like all the way down to its most atomic level. It's the the pacing of our nervous system, and then that spills into, what we're able to focus on, what we're able to feel. We can't feel joy when we're pacing fast. Right? Think about all the times when you've been feeling a lot of joy and bliss and love. The pacing was really slow, right? So the pacing is something we can control. And I like efficiency. So what's the one thing that we can address and shift that changes everything? Well, let's just slow the whole thing down. Like we can't have the spike without the crash. So when people associated the spike with feeling good, and I'll share a personal example here. Like for a while, I would and drink coffee every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And my association had gotten so wired to feel good when I felt the coffee hit. And that high was what I associated with feeling good. And it took me getting off coffee and, you know, going through that period of withdrawal, and then I guess the recovery of my adrenals and all that, for me to realize that I didn't need that to jump on that roller coaster up to feel good. And what I was thinking was good was actually just a neurochemical spike. And different people are open to different extents to seeing the seeing the flip side of that and actually coming into more of a balanced state and slowing down. Because for a lot of people, that's where their edge is, because their sense of value only kicks in when they are producing. And to produce, they need to like be revved up. So being revved up is associated with being of value. And, there's so much conditioning that is underneath that mechanism that, I find it takes some time to unravel. But, or something serious needs to happen for someone to be like, okay, something needs to change. But I think if someone's working with you, they innately know that like this Brian guy, he feels really good. I can't explain it. I can't put my finger on it, but he seems really good. I want to be more like that. People have misunderstood, they think that power comes from tension. But actually, power comes from ease. And, you innately understand this. And I think you will attract people who are like in that renegotiation phase. Because getting really worked up about something actually leaks power. And in our society, what's celebrated and, rewarded is the other kind of power, the other way of, accessing power that people think will lead to that. But, it's one of those things where people think that if someone is not armored and they're connected to their emotions and they're sensitive and they can feel that that's weakness. But actually, it takes a tremendous amount of power for someone to be sensitive and be open and be connected to themselves and be gentle with themselves and, feel. It takes a tremendous amount of power. There's nothing more powerful than that. So I think there's a whole rewiring of society that gets to happen over the next whatever number of years. And, I think that's in a way that's the work we're all doing, right? We're all transmitting this core thing, which is like ease. Sophie's doing it through health and their physical body, and Michael and Kat are doing it through, you know, starting a real estate business, and Tosh is doing it through money, and you're doing it through embodiment. Like we're all selling the same thing. We're all trying to move humanity in the same direction. Beautiful. Well, I wish you all the most incredible beginning of this new year. May this year rain blessings upon you, upon everyone you love and care about. May it rain abundance and joy and ease and pleasure and fun and freedom. And may this year exceed your expectations in every single way.